The Calm English Podcast.
From Soft English. Have you ever been in a room full of people, laughing, talking, completely surrounded, and still felt like nobody could actually see you?
Or scrolled through your phone late at night, looking at all your contacts, and realized you had no idea who you would actually call if something went wrong.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Mia. And today on Soft English Podcast, we are talking about loneliness. Not the obvious kind, where you are physically alone, but the quieter kind. The kind that can exist even when you are surrounded by people.
And if you're listening right now and something in your chest just tightened a little, we see you. This conversation is for you.
Ethan, can I ask you something honest? Have you ever felt lonely in a room full of people who supposedly knew you well?
More times than I would like to admit. I think the strangest version of it was actually during a period when my social calendar was completely full. Dinners, gatherings, constant messages. From the outside, it looked like I had everything. And yet most nights I went home feeling strangely empty.
That is such an important thing to name, because loneliness is not really about how many people are around you. It is about how many of them actually know you, the real, unfiltered, sometimes messy you.
Yes, I had plenty of people who knew the version of me that showed up to things, who laughed at the right moments, who said the right things, but almost nobody who knew what I was actually carrying underneath all of that.
I want to tell you about someone. I will call her Sarah, a friend of a friend whose story has stayed with me. Sarah had hundreds of online followers, a calendar full of social plans, and from every angle, her life looked full. But she told me once that the loneliest she had ever felt was at her own birthday party, surrounded by 30 people, none of whom she felt she could actually cry in front of.
That image is heartbreaking and also so recognizable. A room full of people and still nowhere safe to fall apart.
And I think that is the real definition of loneliness. It is not the absence of people. It is the absence of being truly known by the people around you.
So why does this happen? Because I think a lot of people listening right now have lives that look, from the outside, exactly like Sarah's. Full calendars, active social lives, and still this quiet ache underneath it all.
I think part of it is that modern connection has become very wide but very shallow. We have more contacts than any generation before us, and yet fewer people we could call at 3 in the morning. Quantity of connection went up, depth of connection went down, and
That is such an accurate way to put it. We are reachable by hundreds of people and yet truly known by almost none of them.
I think there is something else happening too. A lot of us have gotten very good at performing okayness. We have a script for how are you, and the script almost never includes the real answer.
Honestly, I am struggling a little this week. Nobody actually says that in casual conversation. We say, fine, busy, good, you know how it is. And every time we say that instead of the truth, we add one more brick to the wall between us and the people around us.
Now let me ask you something, and I want you listening right now to actually sit with this for a second. When was the last time someone asked how you were doing, and you told them the real answer instead of the easy one?
Take a moment. You do not have to answer out loud. Just notice what comes up.
Because I think for a lot of people, it has been a long time. And that gap between what we show and what we actually feel, that gap is where loneliness quietly lives and grows.
I want to tell you about someone too. A man named Theo, who I heard about through a mutual friend. Theo had a wife, 2 children, a stable job, every external marker of a connected life. But he described feeling like he was performing his own life from the outside, watching himself go through the motions of family dinners and weekend plans, never quite landing inside any of it.
What changed for him?
He said the turning point was incredibly small. One ordinary evening, instead of saying, "I'm fine," when his wife asked how his day was, he said, "Honestly, I have been feeling really disconnected lately. I do not know why." And instead of the conversation ending there, it actually opened something. She admitted she had been feeling something similar. And that one honest exchange became the beginning of them actually talking again, instead of just coexisting.
That story gives me so much hope because it shows that loneliness, even the deep, persistent kind, is not always solved by adding more people into your life. Sometimes it is solved by simply telling one person the truth.
One real conversation can do more than 100 surface-level ones.
So, what actually helps, beyond just understanding why this happens? Because I know some of you listening are thinking, okay, this all makes sense, but what do I actually do about it?
For me, the first shift was giving myself permission to be the one who goes first. Instead of waiting for someone else to ask the deeper question, I started asking it myself. Instead of saying, I'm fine, I started occasionally saying the slightly more honest version, even if it felt uncomfortable.
And what happened when you did that?
Mixed results, honestly. Some people did not quite know what to do with it and just changed the subject. But a few people leaned in. A few people said, actually, me too. And those few conversations meant more than years of surface-level small talk.
That takes real courage, going first with honesty when you do not know how it will be received.
It does. And I think that is exactly why so many people stay stuck in the shallow version of connection. Going first feels risky, but staying silent guarantees the loneliness continues.
I think the second thing that helps is being honest about the difference between being around people and actually connecting with people. You can fill your calendar completely and still feel this ache, because not all time with others is the same kind of nourishment.
So instead of just asking, am I spending time with people, it might help to ask, am I spending time with people I can actually be honest with?
Exactly. And if the answer is no, or only one or two people, that is not a personal failure. That is just useful information. It tells you where to actually invest your energy.
There is one more thing I want to mention before we get to the end of this conversation, something that genuinely surprised me when I first learned it.
Stay with us, because this part might change how you think about loneliness completely.
Loneliness is not actually a sign that something is wrong with you. Researchers describe it almost like physical hunger. Hunger tells your body it needs food. Loneliness tells your mind it needs connection. It is not weakness. It is a signal doing exactly what it is supposed to do.
That reframing changes everything. Loneliness is not proof that you are unlikable or broken. It is simply your mind sending you an honest, even healthy message. You need more real connection. That is all.
And once you hear it that way, instead of fighting the feeling or feeling ashamed of it, you can actually listen to it. Use it as direction rather than evidence against yourself.
If you are listening today and this feeling is familiar to you, we just want you to know something simple. You are not the only one performing fine while feeling something much heavier underneath. So many people are carrying exactly what you are carrying, in complete silence, assuming they are the only one.
Maybe today is the day you tell one person the real answer instead of the easy one. Not everyone. Just one. And see what happens.
Take care of your heart and take care of your English. This is Mia.
And this is Ethan. You have been listening to Soft English. Bye, everyone.
Bye.